Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. Love, the very essence that binds us or breaks us. Today on our space, we delve into the raw and emotional stories of heartbreak, betrayal, and the courage to move forward. Our first OP pays it forward. My wife of nearly 7 years, 10 years together, to replace me. Well, my wife of nearly 7 years told me 2 days ago she was seeing a guy and had been for about 8 months. I had my suspicions, especially recently, but I held her to a high moral standard and never thought she could be capable of doing something so horrible and disrespectful. During this 8 months period, her and I had drinks, dinner, etc. with this guy. He is a coworker who conveniently had just got divorced and who I had considered a friend. So here we are having dinner, drinks, hanging out, and the whole time my wife and him were putting on an act like everything was normal. I told her that as of that day, either he's dead to you or I am. And then the crushing blow came. She says she wants to continue seeing him. She says she loves me and loves him. I asked how she could equate almost 7 years of building a life, love, and relationship to an 8-month affair. She couldn't answer that, but she said she was sorry that she hurt me. I told her if she was truly sorry, she would have broken it off and put her attention on us. I'm stunned, pissed, embarrassed that I didn't see the signs. But most of all, I'm sad and brokenhearted. I'm not going to beg to have her back. I've accepted my fate and we'll move on. If those of you who have gone through this have any advice, I appreciate it, and thank you for taking time to read my story. Update. First, I want to say thank you to all the love and support from this group. Sharing your experiences and advice have really helped. Short summary of my story. My wife had been having an affair for 8 months with a recently divorced coworker. My wife and I had dinner, drinks, and hung out like we were all friends, and they acted completely normal the whole time. She says she wants to keep seeing him, but still loves me. So here's what has transpired since that post. Her whole family knows, and they're not happy with her at all. They've all reached out to me, giving support and telling me they love me, and I will always be family to them. Her sister is pissed and doesn't even want to see her. She's claimed that after we divorce, she will not be anywhere near this guy, nor bring her son around him. They have been really close as sisters, and her taking my side was huge. I've made myself unavailable and busy this whole weekend to her. I've set up a consultation with a lawyer for this Tuesday to start divorce proceedings. I have begun looking at housing auctions, but may try to buy her out and keep the house. Also, since she makes more than me, I will be filing for spousal support. I know there is still a rough road ahead and some work to be done, but I'm feeling good about where things are going. I think some folks had asked whether we have kids. We do not. We have a dog who will be coming with me since I did all the work to raise her and train her. So, way less complicated and no reason for her to contact me after I'm gone. I couldn't have gone through these first 2 days without all of you on here, and I'm eternally grateful. I plan to pay it forward by sharing my story in the future once I have healed and helped others as you've helped me. Much love, Survivor fam. I will update as things progress. Another update. So for those that have been following along, my wife confessed on May 23rd of having an 8-month affair with her coworker. Even after confessing, she still professed her love for him and wanted to continue seeing him. So my response was to retain her an attorney for $5,000 and file for divorce. I will also be nailing her butt for alimony payments as well. Strangely enough, after I filed, she suddenly had an epiphany and came running back to me, wanting to make things better and work on a relationship. I told her I would think about it, but I wasn't sure. The only reason I gave her that response is because I want to keep her in good standing while I'm still processing this divorce. But let it be known that divorce is happening and there's no going back. It's a final decision for me. She doesn't know that I filed for divorce, and I plan on keeping it that way just so I can keep it amicable until we can get the house sold. But she's going to get served around 1 September. And then all hell's going to break loose. But it doesn't really matter to me. I've made my decision. I plan to move on with my life, and I suggest anybody else who's been in the situation do the same. I will keep you posted as more progress happens. Honestly, she probably realized that you were thinking of a divorce, as she had more to lose, and that's why she came crawling back. It would be absolutely gutting to think that someone you've been with for so long could just go ahead and throw it away for some 8-month stint. You know, if you were actually to take her back, that she would never truly stop seeing him. She's already admitted to you that she loves him. Next update. So it has been a while since I've updated everyone, but I've made some really good progress. My soon-to-be ex-wife and I have come to financial division agreement. My lawyer has now sent us back to CR2A farm with all of our financial division agreements on it. Now we just need to sign it and send it back in, and then it gets applied to the courts. Once I get the green light, either from the court or from my lawyer, I will begin putting up the house for sale. This has been a trying process just because I've been trying to keep patient through all of this, but I've received a lot of support from you guys, for my family, from friends. It's really helped me to make decisions and progress through where it needs to be. I feel better every day, and as more steps get taken care of, I brought LifeLock, so all my finances and credit card report and everything are all protected. And I've even had a few dates along the line just to create a distraction so that I'm not completely without social interaction. All in all, I feel pretty good. No turning back on my decision. And for anyone who's considering taking it from me, it's the best decision you ever make. I know it's not an easy one, but you have to stop and think about what's best for you and what's best for you going forward in your life. I would try to send an update once the agreement has been signed and once that we start moving forward with getting the house for sale. Thank you for everyone who's given me the support on here and who's been following. And I'm so sorry it took a while to get the updates, but I wanted to hit a major benchmark before I did so. The OP adds some more. I started dating as a distraction. I kept myself busy with golf, gym, doing things that I enjoy, and just taking care of myself, focusing on myself for once. Don't sit around and stew about your current condition, about what should have or what would have been. Make sure you keep yourself busy, doing what you enjoy, and take care of yourself. It does get better, and you do start to feel better as time goes on, and you realize that the choice was the right one. We have a couple community thoughts as well. First one says, OP, I hope you're good. English is not my mother language. Any update of your history? The OP replies, last update from OP on September 2nd, 2023. Hello, thanks for asking about my current status. I've completely moved out of my house, as is my soon-to-be ex. The house has been up for sale, and we have got a couple interested in buying it. The closing of the house should occur on September 14th, and then my divorce will be final on September 18th. As time has gone on, I have felt a lot better, a lot less stressed, and I do not for 1 minute doubt the decision that I made. While it was a tough one, and I do love her, I also had to look out for myself and ensure my own well-being. From the time that she told me she had an affair to the time that the divorce will be final will be approximately 4 months. And while I labored the decision for a little while, I was quick to come to the conclusion that there was nothing left of a relationship. I'm still working through a lot of emotions, but I've come to the peaceful point in my life, and I'm definitely glad I made the decision to free myself of that toxic situation. Another update the OP made in the comments on October 17th, 2023. Hi, thank you again for asking. It's been a while since I've actually come on here and posted. So the house is sold. I made $160K off the sale. The divorce is final, and we've closed out all financial transactions. I've made great strides emotionally, and I've also found an amazing moment to spend my time with. And for those of you who are on the fence or at a point where you're trying to make a decision whether or not you should lead your spouse over the cheating, let me be the voice of reason. It's hard in the beginning because you're questioning a decision. Do you think that maybe things will get better, that maybe they'll go back to where they were? Well, the truth is that it never goes back to what it was. They never go back to who they are. And the only question you really have to ask is, do you want to continue to be betrayed, hurt, and miserable? Above all, my decision came out of self-respect for myself and wanting more out of my life. It wasn't easy. It was not a simple process. It took a lot of work on my part emotionally and otherwise, and overall, I do not regret my decision. I also understand that everybody's situation is unique and that there are other circumstances that are involved, such as kids, which I didn't have to deal with. But I guess the best piece of advice I can tell you is really sit down and take a look at your situation and decide if this is where I want to be 5 years from now. Is this what I want in my life? For me, it was a great decision. It was an opportunity for me to start on a clean slate and to get out of a relationship that would have emotionally drained me and left me feeling worthless. Ah, yes, the moment she said she loved someone else was the moment the chapter of your old life closed. You went through some serious betrayal, but you came out on the other side alive and well. A 5-year plan is a great idea and a great place to start. It can be really difficult to ask yourself the cold, hard questions, and not a lot of people can really go inwards to find those answers. The important thing is that you were looking out for you and continue to do so. And although you did love her, you did what was best and let her go. After all, you want someone in your life who's going to love you and not falter from that love. Someone who truly loves you isn't going to find love looking in someone else's eyes. What do you think? Up next, this cheater has a debt to be paid. Girlfriend cheated and wants to get back together. At the time, I was 23 male, and my girlfriend, 20 female, was together for 3 years, closing 4 years, and we have a son together. Our relationship was great, we never argued and got along great, never had any major issues throughout our relationship. I worked hard to afford our home and tried my best to make it to where she didn't have to worry about anything, just her son. She loved being a stay-at-home mom, and so did I. It all started with her wanting to work and make her own money, which I was all for it because the stress my job made on me, plus worrying about bills and food on the table, it would help me a lot. She wanted to babysit, even if it was only getting around $100 or so a week. Something is better than nothing. Take note, I reassured her she didn't have to, as I was doing fine taking care of it on my own. Granted, we didn't have much free money, but the bills were paid and there was food on the table, which is what really matters. She understood and told me that she would feel a lot better to help me out and feel like she would be contributing more to our household. I reassured her that she was doing more than enough by taking care of our son and for the most part, kept the house clean as she could even with a 2-year-old around. That being said, we agreed for her to get a babysitting job, as she did rather quickly. And she met this guy with 2 daughters that needed a sitter Monday through Friday around 8 to 4, with making at least $300 a week. I said, "This sounds good." The week goes by, and he starts to compliment her on how well she is doing with his girls, and that they really like her, and also starts to hit on her. At this point, I did not know he was hitting on her, as I usually work a night shift around 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Now, she did let me know that he was hitting on her after I got home that night, and I asked her if she let him know to stop, and she told me yes. So I wasn't too worried about it because I trusted her, and she always let me know about these types of things. I'm not the type to search my significant other's phone because, as it was to show a sign of distrust between couples. Now her, on the other hand, always searched through mine, but I really didn't think much of it because I had nothing to hide. Anyways, another week goes by, and he compliments her more and hits on her again, and my girlfriend shows me the text. At this point, she hasn't responded to him, and I asked her again if she asked him to stop and to reassure him that you are already taken. On top of this, I'm aggravated at the guy because he hasn't paid my girlfriend for babysitting at all. It's been 2 weeks, and I've been paying for food for 2 more kids in my household that are not even mine. He keeps making BS stories, and I wasn't liking it at all. So another week goes by, and he finally pays her, and we're beyond hurting for groceries, so I tell her that's awesome. Now let's get some groceries. Also would like to note that he did not pay her the full amount owed, only $300, and he owes her $900. And I get that life situations can't help that sometimes, so I was lenient towards it. So we go to get in the truck for grocery shopping, and then the 2 girls she's babysitting said they don't want to go and would rather go to the pool instead. We have a big town pool that costs $20 to get into for all of us, and my girlfriend says we can go to the pool, then go get groceries afterwards. At this point, I said no, the pool is secondary, and we can go get groceries, and then if we have the money, we can go to the pool afterwards. She then starts to argue with me and defend the girls about wanting to go to the pool. So we get into a heated small argument that ended with me driving off with our son, and I took him to see my mother and get my mind off the argument. I told my mom what happened, and she went and had a few words with my girlfriend, and I guess it got heated as well. I don't know what was happening or why she was acting this way, but I wasn't liking it. Granted, my mother should have never gotten involved. I never meant to get her involved, but she was the only person I had at the moment to vent to. My sister went and talked to her as well and calmed everyone down and offered to have a girls' night out with her. I thought it was a good idea because then me and my son could get some time together. So I go to pick them up later that night, and she is drunk. Pretty bad, actually. I carry her inside and take care of her while she pukes and everything before laying down in bed. I see a text on her phone for the man she is babysitting for saying goodnight, beautiful. At this point, I'm confused because she told me that he didn't hit on her anymore or even compliment her. So I checked the messages, and when I read, my heart shattered. I instantly felt rage. I don't know what to do. I just sat at my kitchen table for a long hour, staring at my wall. So I called her stepfather that I know works night shifts and explained the situation. He calmed me down and told me not to do anything stupid that I will regret. I went around the house and grabbed a few things I bought for her and broke them outside. Then I grabbed my son and left to a friend's house that had a spare room for me and my son. If you want me to keep going with this story, let me know in the comments and any questions you have. Oh boy. So she found a cushy job as a wife and mommy to a nice new little family. Moreover, you shouldn't have paid for anything out of pocket. Update. The messages I've seen on my girlfriend's phone were pretty bad. She was sexting this guy, whom she was babysitting for, and I also read messages of them both talking about me in a bad way. This was going on for about 2 weeks. Every morning and night, they would start the day off calling each other beautiful, handsome, sexy, etc. This happened around Father's Day, which hurt as well. I read messages that also were talking about when I went to work and when I was coming home, etc. I didn't sleep at all that night, and I went back and talked to her the next morning. She asked me if I wanted to be over. I said yes, definitely. I would need to figure out a way to get you back with your family. Her family stayed across the US, so we would have to buy plane tickets. We continued our conversation, and she tried to point out that my family members cheated on people and that not all relationships are 100% loyal. Seemed like she was trying to find reasons to justify her wrongdoings without feeling so guilty about it. Want to hear the kicker? She never apologized for doing it. So I told her I wanted to be over, and I was done. We sat on the couch and talked a while longer. I eventually gave in and said, I can try to work through it. Only thing I was thinking about at the moment was my son. I wanted to be there for him, and if I had to split up with my girlfriend at the time, she would have moved back to her family, and I wouldn't be able to see my son that much. So, a month goes by, situation is not good. I tried really hard to get along with her, but every chance I got, I would argue and throw the cheating BS in her face. I could never look at her the same again, and she seemed to not understand that. At this point, I'm done. I don't want to be with her anymore, and I also didn't want my son to see an unhealthy relationship between his parents. So I chose to break it off, and we will try to co-parent the best we can for her son's sake. She finally apologized and says she knows she messed up and wants me to give her a second chance to earn my trust back. I told her no, some mistakes have consequences you can't fix. I explained to her how I felt and how we should move forward. At that moment, she says she didn't need me and that I was the one throwing away a 4-year relationship by taking the easy way out and leaving. Another few months go by, and she keeps asking me if there was any chance of us getting back together. I told her honestly, I didn't know because you never know in life sometimes, but I said not likely. She continues to ask me this multiple times, and I give her the same answer every time. She continued to send me relationship quotes and forgiveness quotes for months. I asked her to stop multiple times nicely, but she continued anyways, also sending me, "We love and miss you" almost every day, even continues to now, over a year later. I've told her multiple times the only reason we should be talking is if it has to do with my son. But she continues to do it anyway to this day. I'm doing good now. I've got a good job. I'm working on myself and better myself by working out and getting a bit more fit body. I talk to my son at least once a week, and I get him for the summers, which is exciting. I talk to a girl right now, and we have went on a few casual dates. She's absolutely beautiful. I'm really starting to like her. I don't plan on telling my ex about the girl because honestly, it's none of her business. The only time we should ever contact each other is about my son, nothing more. Once my boy gets old enough to have his own phone, we will no longer need to contact one another. I do want to add that I still think she seems to think that we are getting back together, which did tell her recently it wasn't going to happen. She still continues to send me I love you messages, and all the photos she sends me of my son is both of them posing together. I ignore her a lot, and when I do answer, they are very short. I can't just straight up block her because she is my main contact to my son, so I'm kind of in a standstill. Just curious on any suggestions going forward. I don't want to fight for custody because she was a stay-at-home mom for 3 years, and she's a great mom. She's never once threatened to keep him from me, and I don't believe she ever would, but I also thought she wouldn't cheat, too. I've seen a lot of these stories and was very intrigued by them, so I thought I would share mine. Hope you enjoyed, but thanks for reading. I know it's a lot. Sorry for the cliffhanger on the first post. Yeah, like I said before, it's hard to make those tough decisions, even if it means not being able to see your child. A child definitely makes it hard, but sometimes there's things that just can't be fixed. She chose to lie to you right under your nose and then went on and tried to excuse her behavior by acting like it was normal to do. But sometimes, in order to do what's right for us, we have to make those hard decisions. Do you have a similar story? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining us to Down Our Space. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next video. See you soon.